to Mr. Collier and Mr. Perry, two webmasters, and the topic is the internet and the digital divide, as well as dealing with the computer. And of course, gentlemen, before we had our first commercial break, we were talking about the computer and the internet. But I think that most of us are familiar with the term the digital divide. And so what we'd like to do this morning is to talk about the digital divide, and for you to give us some information relative to the scope and exactly what we mean when we talk about the digital divide, and any other information that you feel would be very, very helpful to our audience this morning, to not only tell them about the digital divide, but to encourage them to become involved in the computer, which is itself a part of that whole question of the digital divide. Let's start off with you, Mr. Collier, and have Mr. Perry to sort of help us as we develop this.
Well, when I think about the digital divide, I just think about myself recently. I was dealing with a dial-up modem, and I recently switched over to cable broadband access. And when I think about digital divide, I look at minorities. We're still on the dial-up modem, and everybody else is looking at, like I said, broadband and wireless. So, I mean, there's a big gap, and we need to catch up. By first, we need to get more computers in our households. From there, and that's due to the income in the household. So there is going to be some types of problems there. But I just think we need to be more aware of technology and what's going on, and let's make an effort, a collective effort to catch up, because like I said, we're already 2 steps behind.
Mr. Perry.
And you think about that, I've just recently changed over to the cable as well, and I enjoy the speed of it. But again, I agree with them that everything is going digital now. I mean, you got digital TVs, digital clocks, and digital radios, computers, you name it, everything is going digital with some kind of type of computer inside of it. And as far as the training and education, it's also going digital. I'm involved in a project that we're doing over the internet, where we'll be able to train school food service personnel and be able to allow them to train on their own, at their own leisure, at home, where they won't have to spend money trying to travel from one place to another. All they have to do is log onto their computer, dial in, they'll be able to take quizzes, tests, they'll be able to talk to their instructor over the internet, and these are type of things that the internet has allowed us to develop as far as distance education. And a lot of universities are doing that as well, where they're building training courses or courses over the internet where they can actually give you college credit over the internet. So this is where it's going.
Right, and see, with that technology that he's talking about, as a webmaster, I have to be careful, because since I am on the broadband, I can do my functionality, I can do a lot more things than I can with the dial-up modem. So as a webmaster, I have to be very careful, because that's why with Nashville Black, it's a very simple website, because I know if I throw a lot of flash and animation type things on my website, that everybody won't be able to pick that up, and it'll slow this. With a dial-up modem, that's going to slow it down.
At the same time, you do want to have the flash and things on it, because that's what brings your customers back to you. If there's something that's just up there and it's ho-hum and dry, they won't want to see it.